Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Willow Legal Group Coffee Chat on this hot summer Wednesday, although cooler, I guess, today, relatively.
2 degrees, maybe?
Not over 100, I don't think. I think it's supposed to be under 100 today.
That's good. Hey, we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. So today we are talking about incapacity and what you need to do and what is incapacity, what planning needs to go into thinking about incapacity planning. So Lindsay, what is incapacity?
So when we mention incapacity, we're talking about your temporary or permanent inability to manage your affairs. So that could be make health decisions, that could be manage your legal financial affairs. It could be due to an illness, an injury. You could be literally like in a coma and can't do it. Or you could have some kind of a memory cognitive decline. I know, like, I haven't not had enough coffee yet. Yeah, so maybe that you've got dementia or some kind of cognitive dysfunction or whatever. And you just aren't able to handle your affairs. So that's what we're talking about as far as incapacity goes.
Yeah. And if you haven't done any planning and you don't have any documents, right? We get those phone calls of, I guess we get less healthcare calls and more financial calls, but mom or dad has dementia and can't make decisions. And sometimes, right, the way dementia progresses is sometimes it can happen really fast and your loved one just, doesn't know what's going on and can no longer make those decisions. And so if you don't have incapacity documents in place, then you need to go through a court process. It's called guardianship. And that is you, as a concerned loved one, reaching out to the court and saying, hey, court, someone needs to manage this person's financial situation. Someone needs to make medical decisions, healthcare decisions for this person. They haven't named anyone. There aren't any legal documents in place for someone to step into this role. So we need you, court, to appoint someone to take over this. Anytime you get the court involved, right, you bring in a person, judge, and judges make, subjective decisions based on, sometimes it's just based on what they read in the filings. Guardianship, usually it's a time of stress for the family, and the process isn't easy because it takes away the rights of the alleged disabled person is the technical term. And so the court takes that really seriously. And there is a process. The alleged disabled person is appointed a court-appointed attorney or can have their own attorney to represent them and their rights in the process. There could be a jury trial. It's a lot more work and paperwork. And the person who needs the help isn't in control. They don't get to say, this is who I want. This is what I want if I couldn't make these decisions. And I think that's the biggest piece, right? You know who you want to make medical decisions for you, who would be the best person to make financial decisions. And so having these documents in place, one, saves your family the hassle of going to court and dealing with guardianship, but also keeps you in control.
Right. And I think the best example that we can use of late is the whole Britney Spears situation. She's not your typical guardianship candidate because she was so young. Usually when we think of guardianship, we think of an older adult or someone with special needs. Britney, apparently, she had her mental breakdown or whatever it was, and the court decided that her father would be the best person to be her guardian. And you would think, he's her dad. He has her best interests in mind. But then years later, it came out that he really didn't have her best interests at heart. And she was being forced to do things she didn't want to do, et cetera, et cetera. And that was luckily overturned. And that's a hard thing to do. That it's once you have a guardianship put in place, it's really hard to get that overturned. So she's just a really good example of how it could happen unexpectedly to anybody, young or old. And so we do actually recommend these documents for young adults as well, because once you turn 18, you're a legal adult and your parents no longer have that automatic authority to do things for you. like make doctor's appointments or talk to doctors. Or if you have your own bank account, they can't go take money in and out of your account for you without this documentation. So it's really important to have these, even if you're healthy, even if you're young, just in case something were to come up. You want to have did we even say what they are?
No,
yet?
I was just going to say, so
documents.
The documents you need are financial powers of attorney, advanced healthcare directives. What we provide clients is advanced healthcare directives, a living will, and a HIPAA authorization. And we actually prepared 2 financial powers of attorney. The first is a state-specific form. It is approved by the Maryland legislature. And the other is a general durable power of attorney that covers all that little stuff that is often missed in the state form. And that, we never want to end up in a situation in which your loved ones need to make a decision on your behalf and the document's silent.
Right.
And so you're either spending money to explain to whatever the institution is why you have the right to do it, or, then you're going to court and asking for an order to explain why. So we'd rather make sure that, in a situation when you can't make those decisions, the loved ones that you choose can make those decisions for you.
Yep. So like Megan said, it's all about you making the choices that you think are right for you while you still have the ability to do so that you do have some semblance of control, even when you really can't make your own decisions.
Right. And then at that point, it makes things easy and doesn't leave a mess for your family.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, thank you. Have a great week, and we will see you next week.